Now another question जो हमारे पास है, that is trace the rise and growth of socio-religious movement with a special reference to young Bengal and Brahmo Samaj. So this was started by Henry uh, Derizo, and Brahmo Samaj was started by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. So we have to trace both the rise and growth of socio-religious movement with reference to this movements. तो साथ साथ कैसे चल रहा था, and it was asked in 2021. So social religious movement क्या है, aim to reform the national nation based on ideology of social religious movement. क्या हो गया आप whenever we talk about social religious movement, we are talking about rationalism, humanism, universalism, because of the practices that were there. So provide equality and justice to all, provide equality and justice. So why we are talking about equality? Because of those sati tradition and the kind of uh, discrimination prevalent in society. So Brahmo Samaj movement, initiated by Raja Ram Mohan Rai in 1928, out to purify the Hinduism from evil practices. तो Hinduism के अंदर जो था, that is of casteism, satir system, and influence of priestly class. And the Young Bengal movement, it was started in early 1830 by Henry Vivian Derizo to inculcate ideas of liberty. And he was a professor of Hindu college in Calcutta, and he was equality and freedom, and sought to purify the society based on freedom of speech and thought and critical thinking of action. So he denied the existence of God and started critical thinking and questioned the existence of God. So these were things started by Young Bengal movement. And rise of social religious movement देखेंगे तो rejected idol worship. Brahmo Samaj's objective was to attain the eternal God through monoistic method. Monoistic method, worshipping only single God, and promoted humanism that by breaking the barriers of caste, religion, and gender, charity, and morality. By Brahmo Samaj emphasized to develop humanistic principle. Unity of all religion, meditation from here, Hinduism, charity from Islam, attacks on any religion was prohibited. So member visited the cremating, like Brahmo Samaj members visited the cremating ghats of Calcutta to challenge the Sati culture. Now they practiced rationalism, critical look on every social practices and opposed any evil practice. Young Bengal movement believed in French Revolution. Yes, they were inspired by French Revolution, that is of equality, liberty, and fraternity for all. And they questioned the existence of God and undertook drinking wine and consuming beef as a means of freedom. So I think this was extreme. Drinking wine and consuming beef was a means of freedom. Now, women education movement promoted women education and demanded equality and freedom for them. Now, growth of social religious movement participation, like Brahmo Samaj was open for all, and members of all religion attended its working. Pan India movement idea of rationality and equality promoted by Brahmo Samaj led to rise of Pratna Samaj in Western India. Participation of intellectuals. So this young Bengal movement provided base for intellectual revolution among the students who later made a landholder society and BS for the welfare of the people. Ahmadiyya movement among Muslim was based on the universalism of religion on the lines of Brahmo Samaj. So this Brahmo Samaj inspired this Ahmadiyya movement. So YBM principle of scientific criticism along with freedom became the basis for other reforms movement in India. Young Bengal movement principle of scientific criticism along with freedom became the basis for other reform movement in India. So both Young Bengal movement and Brahmo Samaj was initial movement on two different lines which further propagated the ideas of modernism, humanism, universalism, rationalism, leading to rise in number of movement. Another question: accesses the main administrative issues and socio-cultural problems in the integration of process of Indian princely estates. Okay, so what were the main administrative issues and cultural problems in integration of process? So India has around 568 princely estates at the time of independence, and integration of these estates were critical task to ensure sovereignty and integrity of the nation. So it was a very critical task. Now, main administrative issues were to choose to remain independent as it could sustain on itself. Like some princely states like Travancore, who had demanded to remain independent as it has access natural resources which would survive itself. Now, both many of joined Pakistan, but territory was close to India. These were the administrative issues they were facing. Junagadh has Muslim ruler and wanted to join Pakistan, but they took plebiscite in Junagadh, merging with India. A strong tilt towards Pakistan, it gave generous benefit from joining Pakistan. So Jodhpur wanted to join Pakistan in lieu of benefits, but forced to join India after giving assurance of benefits. Now, war from Pakistan, demand for autonomy, now, social cultural issues were Muslim ruler, but Hindu population, just like Bhopal wished to remain independent as its ruler was Muslim and population was Hindu. War against Hindu population of the state, Hyderabad wanted to remain independent, and its armed fanatics initiated a war against the Hindu population of the state, forcing the Indian government to take military action and accede it. Divide of opening opinion among the public. Manipur popularly the legislative assembly was divided into accession to India, and India acceded it by proceeding the king. So Hindu ruler but Muslim population. Thus, integration of princely state led to innovation of new method along with old tactics to ensure the unity of India. Further, reorganization of the state of linguistic basis were carried out to bring uniformity for administration. So these are the challenges that were facing. Now, to what extent did the role of moderate prepare a base for the wider freedom movement? To what extent did the role of, so we will assess the role to what extent the moderate, so what moderates actually did, and what were their contribution and how it paved the way for the future movement and how people the next generation inspired from it. So moderates time frame is from 1885 to 1905, and from there they will start the revolutionary extremist movement. Extremist will start. So national leaders सबसे पहले आता है आपका दादा भाई नौरोजी, फिरोज शाह मेहता, डी ई वाचुआ, डब्ल्यू सी बैनर्जी, एस एन बैनर्जी, who were staunch believers in liberalism, and moderate politics are called as moderates. तो जो those who believe in liberalism and moderate politics कर रहे थे, so not extreme, but in between of both left and right, and to be aligned with the British government. The contribution of moderate is economic critique. What do the contribution they contributed? Like they criticized the economy policies of British, like enlightened the Indian society and help establish the notion of economic drain of wealth of India, which led to the increased awareness of the problem, like work of Dadabai Nauroji, poverty and British rule in India, R.C. Datta's book Economic History of India, demand for economic reform, exposed the problem in various sectors of economy, brought the people under one roof. The economic problems highlighted are reduction in expenditure and taxes, to cut down on military spending, reduction of land revenue of land and revenue assessment, abolition of salt tax, and encouragement of cottage and handicraft industries. Now, the formation of Congress, pan-India political organization, and given opportunity to everyone to take part in the national politics. So, formation of Congress, pan-India political organization, and giving opportunity to everyone to take part in cultural politics. Now, administrative reforms campaign for Indianization of government services, separation of judicial reform from executive functions. Further criticized the oppressive bureaucracy, thereby increasing the association of Indians in the government machinery. Constitutional reform demanded for the expansion of council, greater participation of Indians, and reform of council, more power to council such as control over finances. The petition of moderate leader resulted into the passage of Indian Council Act. The political mobilization mobilized the next generation of freedom fighter, favorable relation with rule. Due to moderate outlook, British government felt no urge to ban or restrict work of moderates, which help create foundation of freedom struggle. Now, national awakening पे आते हैं तो moderates created a widespread national awakening of all Indians around a common program against a common enemy. A limitation of moderates, methodology of moderate, neglect of social issues, opposed labor reform, narrow social base. Now, piecemeal approach, praise, petition, and protest did not bring significant reform, and masses criticized them for being incompetent as there is a least scope for their participation. Limited program demanded democratic rights only for the educated member of Indian society. Despite this limited success, the historical significance of the early nationalists lay in the fact that by providing an economic critique of colonialism, the moderate had constructed a discursive field, which created a solid base for a more vigorous mass-based national movement in the subsequent periods of freedom movement.